The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And it is a gorgeous day after many rainy days down in Florida. Sun was actually out for a few minutes. Got to take the dog for a walk. He liked that. And, we just had a fairly nice day. It seems like every day that I make the trip over here to the headquarters of technical trading and investing, TFNN.com, I see some new level of security getting ready for the Republican convention. Today, they were testing out little drones that look like birds that fly up in the sky. You could see them out there, and I'm thinking, that looks like a bird. And then it started doing flips and everything else. You could tell it was a little drone airplane. My guess is they're going to be flying those birds over the crowds to keep an eye on them. We've already had some bomb threats from various groups and some pipes and some other stuff hidden on rooftops to be, I guess, taken back later and used for mischief, if not worse. So starting to button this place down, starting to see the black SUVs show up with the guys with the automatic rifles, a lot more of that stuff. I know everybody's talking about it being canceled. One of the reasons I chose to move down here in my first retirement was because I'd done a lot of research and found out that of the cities in Florida, Tampa had not been hit since 1918 by a real hurricane with any kind of damage. And even then, it was tidal flooding. It wasn't the kind of stuff, high winds ripping you apart kind of stuff. If you were, I think at that point it got to 11 feet above mean sea level, or maybe 10 and a half feet on a tidal flood. And there's a reason why, and it's part geography, but a lot of it is the wind cuts, the prevailing winds come right across the peninsula here of Florida and tend to push any storm at least part way out to sea. Sometimes they'll come up, and if they don't have time and they hit early, they'll hit down in Fort Myers. If they don't hit there, there's a 90% chance that they'll go up to Pensacola or somewhere in Mississippi or over to Louisiana. But Panhandle is a favorite of getting hit by the hurricanes, but it's you got as it tries to go up the coast, you've got a lot of prevailing westerly winds trying to push that thing to a great extent offshore. But I think it's way too early for people to start talking about canceling anything because of a hurricane. But of course, I'd like it just to rain for a while and keep all the protesters down, kind of like dust out there. Just keep the dust down a little bit. They'll be out of here in about a week, and we'll be back to our plain and simple hamlet of the Tampa Bay area. Today is Thursday, August 23rd. It is Valentino Day, remembering the death, the day that he died, in Rudolph Valentino, kind of the first big movie star. He was in movies like The Horsemen of the Apocalypse, The Sheik, Blood and Sand, The Eagle, and The Son of the Sheik. But none of those were my favorite. He was in a really good one, and I think it was The Thief of Baghdad. And that's the one I always like. I think most of the ones, people that watch old films, really like that one. The Thief of Baghdad. Always great, but we'll have to think about really the first big movie star out there all these years later. What else do we have in news going on? Besides the market being down actually for a day, off about 11 points on the S&P, we continue to see the volume be pretty much what we've seen before, which is light. The volume is about the same as it was yesterday. Coming in, we are seeing a little bit of weakness and pretty much on the comments from ECB and Germany. But off 11 points, no volume so far. Really need to see some kind of sign of weakness, and I can't say that we've seen a sign of weakness yet in this market. Apple itself maybe off a little bit, still not a big deal. We saw the pattern set up for dark cloud cover that was negated yesterday, so not a lot in it. Of course, it drives so much of the NASDAQ that it's silly. And we'll continue to see a few of these stocks try to push higher, but a little weaker out there. Zynga, of course, in its death spiral. Connexi is a fast-growing social game startup in San Francisco. They're starting to hire away Zynga employees. One was the general manager. But a lot of these companies that we're seeing as these IPOs fail are starting to leave for other companies already, or other startups, and we continue to probably see a lot of these things going away in the not too distant future. But we've seen the brain drain start in Facebook. We're seeing it in Zynga now, and the brain drain is probably going to continue in a lot of those, like Groupon and some of the other ones. Anyway, Australian Resources Minister says the mining boom is over. BHP decided that they were not going to build a giant mine, and the cost to build this mine was going to be something like $250 million. They're saying that or at least he's saying that the national mining boom for Australia is over, mostly on huge weakness in China. But the first big mine project that was planning to be built now will not be. Maybe they'll come back another time, but we're already starting to see China's weakness affect other countries out there. And today, in the theme of old movies, it's Take That, You Dirty Rat. Now, who did that? Wasn't that, maybe it was Edward G. Robinson? I thought that was who it was. Maybe it wasn't. But it was kind of, with a lot of people yelling and screaming about people spilling their guts and calling them rats. The SEC is really mashing the throttle down on whistleblowers talking about inside trading scams, fraud, and other abuses. They had one big change in Dodd-Frank, and that was it allowed the SEC to actually pay out a percentage of awards. And why that passed about a year ago, it's taken about a year to get through it, but they've announced that they awarded the first $50,000 on a, basically, I think they fined someone $1 million. They've gotten $150,000 of it. They're giving $50,000 to this person that was the whistleblower. And you can remain anonymous. So there's probably a little bit of impotence and fear on Wall Street now that you can be ratted out at a moment's notice. But the SEC is basically saying this is kind of the first step in ensnaring additional victims, the agency said in a release. But actually starting to see maybe a little of this money and the ability for somebody to actually say something without getting fired and then never finding a job anymore. If I read a little bit farther into the article, this $50,000 is just the first part of the payment. The gentleman, if they get the whole $1 million, actually $1 million recovered from the person that was accused of the insider trading and agreed to pay this fine back, he will get up to $150,000. So being an anonymous tipster, if you're right, may not be all that bad. Baidu was kind of slammed today. I didn't see what it's trading at right now, but let me see if I can see if we got a new quote here. If I can get this underneath. Oh, something else going on here. BIDU had a downgrade. And that was from Deutsche Bank intraday today, so you had one of the bigger movers. It's off just a hair under $10 or 8% down to 112.91. This is a downgrade based on another company called, I think it's called Kuaihu. But Baidu's basically saying that this Kuihu, which the symbol is Q-U-I-H-U, is that right? Q-I-H-U, stole their algorithm for searches. They're down 2, which is kind of amazing. You'd think that they'd pop on it. But Baidu's making a lot of racket about suing them, or possibly suing them. And we'll see how it goes. But they went hot maybe a few months ago, can't remember, 3-6 months ago, as a competitor to Baidu. And a lot of people are saying that it's kind of like the war between Internet Explorer and Firefox and Chrome over here. But apparently this Kuihu has actually been able to slowly develop a larger and larger market share, and is up about 8% in the last couple of months for the searches in China. But Baidu actually going to have a competitor. Pretty much the end of the big news is High Def, a international body that defines television standards, has approved a ultra high definition television standard that's even higher def than our high defs. Of course, as soon as we get a high def, you want a higher def. Allows for programming and broadcasts at resolutions of 7,680 by 4,320, along with a frame refresh rates up to 120 hertz. So it's going to probably be a fairly decent signal. A lot of Sony and some of the other ones were bucking for 8,000 by 4,000. That the 7680 must be a magic number out there for design engineers, and some multiple of frequencies that both work at 50 hertz and 60 hertz frequencies for AC power. And a lot of times the AC power frequencies are probably more important for design than anything else. So you got to get numbers that work both at European power standards and U.S. power standards. So a lot of times these numbers come out a little crazy sometimes. But 7680, when you're probably talking about an average set now being 720 or 1080p, would be extensive rays. There are only a few cameras right now that actually can get that kind of rate. There's a camera out in Hollywood called Red. I think it's called red.com if you go to them. It was an idea that I wanted to do years ago. My company would never go along with it. And I thought, well, you could probably just record a lot of that high def to multiple DVDs. But they weren't much into the idea of that. In fact, they weren't much of the idea of anything. They bought a bunch of worthless companies and decided to throw their money away as quickly as possible after our IPO. But I still think it's a great company. We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to get into charts a little early today. I would love a phone call from you, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648, and we'll talk a little bit more about Red and then get into some charts. But kind of the technology of the future here already.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her small cap roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kay Stalter, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Anyway, if you're wondering where all these high-definition images are going to come, a lot of movies already are filmed on these red cameras. They're kind of the to-go guys in Hollywood right now. You can rent the camera backs and lenses, but instead of getting a big Panaflex camera that costs you a wad of cash plus a huge amount to get the film developed, you put these backs on, and the backs actually have connectors and can have terabytes of online memory. And basically, if you like the take, you take the back off, or you connect it to a computer, and you'll download the ones you want. But they already have some of these cameras, I think, that are 8K by 4K, well above the frequency of this new high definition standard. But of course, when you get everything done, then you make the print directly to film with a film image printer. But pretty much if you're making a low-budget movie with, say, $500,000, $1 million, you're making maybe a small documentary movie or even small indie films right now, these are the go-to guys. I suspect that a lot of the patents they have, these guys are probably going to go public one day, but they are the leaders in actually basically the technology in your smartphone for taking moving images. They just do it at super high quality, able to use real television and movie lenses that are very expensive, and you can rent the whole stuff and development systems and machines to edit everything out. But they're kind of the go-to guys now, where it used to be, of course, buying an actual film camera, putting film in, sending it out to get developed. Memory is still a premium because these things eat memory. But if you know you're not going to use that take, you just delete it and go to the next one. Not kind of a bad technology. I expect we're probably going to find out a lot more about these guys in the future as more and more systems go to digital recording of original content from film. But kind of a neat company. Anyway, we will be more than willing to take a phone call here at 877-927-6648. We do have enough of a movement down, or finally a movement down in the marketplace. We're still, out there around 1403 on the S&P, so off about 10 points. Volume is still low and it hasn't picked up. I'm hoping to see some kind of movement. But I suspect that we are the 23rd right now. If this market can close back up, we'll say either today or tomorrow, back about 1408, I suspect we're going to get one more test of 1424. We're going to see a very low VIX like we saw before. We're, what are we at? Up at 16. We were down at 1358, I think, on Tuesday or Monday. We're going to be able to see one more time when we see this VIX pull back and get low. But normally a very good time to buy options. Anytime the VIX is below 15 and you're looking at an implied volatility of less than 30 on the underlying stock, you're normally at a fairly decent, you've got to pick a good stock or the right stock, but you're still probably better off than actually buying the underlying if you're going to buy a put on it. But we'll continue to watch how this market plays out. It is going to be ending. Oh, we do have one more news article on that. HP and Dell earnings. Just wanted to make a quick comment. We've seen them. Everybody's predicting the end of the computer. I suspect as we watch companies like Microsoft, let me get a current quote on them, MSFT, that the death of the PC is probably well over established. Kind of the Mark Twain. The rumors of my death are greatly exaggerated, and I suspect the idea that the PC is over is also greatly exaggerated. But Microsoft does have their first new logo in 25 years. They unveiled it yesterday. It's not much different, but it's kind of a simpler theme on their Windows environment, where they're not going to have as many frames. It's going to be more kind of big button-like logo out there. And Nokia is actually building a Windows 8 phone that's supposed to come out in September. We're seeing actually a little burst in Nokia today on a down day. They were up, or are up about 8% on news that they're going to get first whack at making some phones actually for Microsoft and becoming more partnered with Microsoft themselves. Again, you can give me a call, 877-927-6648. And we will be more than glad to talk about it. When we come back, we'll be doing a little bit of natural gas and talking about it and get into some stocks. But give me a call in the meantime, 877-927-6648.
Tom O'Brien's daily trading newsletter, Market Insights, has delivered powerful results for subscribers, and now is the perfect time to try it out for 2 weeks absolutely free. We're so confident in the value Tom provides his subscribers in his daily newsletter that through Labor Day weekend only, when you sign up for a 2-week free trial to Market Insights, we'll send you a free copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, your ultimate trading mastery system, completely free of charge. Will even cover the shipping cost. Cancel at any time during your 2-week free free trial to Market Insights and pay nothing, and keep Tom's free book as a gift from us. This offer is only valid for new subscribers. We've only extended this offer once before, and it will only be active for a short period of 2 weeks. So act now to take advantage of this great offer and be ready to capitalize on a more active, more volatile market once traders return from their August vacations. All the details are on the front page of TFNN.com. Sign up for your free trial to get your free copy of Tom's best-selling book today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Smith Barney. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportion of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney believes that a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what asset allocation and the Morgan Stanley Smith Barney financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Certified Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC. Member SIPC.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
I wanted to take a little bit of a look at natural gas. We're seeing kind of a pullback start, but not unexpected. I brought this up before we started moving, and that is normally you see some kind of low around midsummer. I think it started just a little earlier than that. I was thinking we'd had maybe another week or to go, so I didn't really worry about it. I know that normally there's some very heavy statistics that show that after the bounce that you normally get in June-July timeframe, but normally about the middle of July, there is an organic reason. That's when a lot of times those orders will start coming in and let energy producers, your local power plant that uses natural gas, when they're going to get it. Now, especially in the Midwest, a lot of that comes up the Mississippi, the Ohio, the Tombigbee, a lot of the other waterways up the Ohio River. And, they compress the natural gas, put it on barges, and move it back up if they can't get it with the existing pipelines to some areas and communities. Same thing with coal. They put the orders in. But, of course, a change this year is that the Obama administration's pretty much put the coal requirements down to a minimum. What is very interesting is how the lack of being able to get a lot of these barges up the river is going to impact how much is going to be used. But normally you get a nice bounce off the bottom when the contracts are signed. Then you get a fairly decent 50% pullback. And we're seeing that now. Hopefully you're watching on Tiger TV. There's a website called seasonalcharts.com. This guy hadn't updated it since 2007, as far as I can remember. But he has 17 years of natural gas, and he's done some other studies. I haven't really seen over the last 4 or 5 years anything really change on natural gas. Wheat, corn, some of the other things, because of the worldwide production, more of things like beef. These seasonal charts have probably moved. But natural gas, at least in the United States, not as easily transportable, and the rhythm of the market probably much well preserved, other than other things that have been out there for a while. But normally we're getting right now, what do we got, 7 days? Historically, we've seen a fairly decent low come in right around the end of August, 1st of September. You should be able to see that fairly clearly on Tiger TV, and I suspect that's what we're seeing right now. Natural gas is off $0.015, but especially with coal, we might see a much bigger push, especially if we can get some water back in those canals and start seeing some shipping, especially for coal and natural gas, to power those stations this winter. UNG's off about 19 cents. I suspect we could see that thing coming back. I'd love it to get back down to about $18.50, something like that, if you wanted to get in natural gas. And you'd probably see something like maybe $2.65, something like that, on natural gas itself to go back and figure it out. But pretty good statistical inference. As far as I can tell, it's held over a number of years, and that's just the natural buying cycle and the use of natural gas, which pretty much peaks at the end of the winter season in the March time frame. A lot of times if you have a heavy or hard winter, they'll need to buy additional natural gas that they haven't contracted for, and you see that spike starting about February through April. If you get that really, really wicked winter that a lot of times happens, especially in the Midwest and other places that use natural gas. But there's a reason for everything, and we see supply and demand work very well in natural gas. But a good chart to look at. I just thought everybody would enjoy that. Anyway, we will be looking at some other stocks here. First one I wanted to look at, it was one of the stronger ones out here. See if I can actually get to it. Amazon. Amazon is another one that's been kind of getting close to these highs. And I've been watching to see whether or not, since it has been one of the strongest stocks out there, and of course would probably do well even in a pullback of the general market, as it is the go-to place to buy products at significant discounts to retailers close to you, and at most places you can still get it without paying taxes. September 19th of last fall, we saw $244 at 8.2 million shares. Tried to buck over that on October 17th on much lighter volume of just under 6 million shares. We've been getting to that high and actually have gone over it. We have closed below it, but there is, again, what I would like to see in a lot of these stocks that have hit these highs, even though we're pulling back on the broad markets, is to see a sign of weakness. I know a lot of people are talking about S&P 1408 as a close below that as being a big issue. I think it's a minor issue at the moment, and especially with fund buying coming in here at the end of the month, we still have comments to be had tomorrow and, well, I guess it'd be tonight and tomorrow morning from ECB meetings. But a lot of people not liking what the Germans are saying, especially about throwing more money or good money after bad with the Greeks, probably adding to a little bit of our problem. You would think that the dollar would be up and strong on those calls, but very strangely, we're off about 14 cents on the dollar index. And of course, the move in gold is we're kind of surprising out here, up $31, $16.62, well, yeah, $1,672. Even silver's popped up about 90 cents. Probably not a bad trade. I just think that they're probably ones that it's kind of like fighting over pennies and letting the dollars blow down the street. Just think that there's probably a better risk reward out there on things maybe like natural gas or even stocks, maybe even being short out in the marketplace. But I would love to have seen some kind of volume come in Amazon. We talked about Baidu, B-I-D-U. This is more of an issue, I suspect. B-I-D-U, if I can type, as he does type. Baidu, we've seen all these gaps up, and that's one thing you really don't like to see is just gap after gap after gap. It started on earnings, and you had a nice pop-up, really no energy after that, almost a total short squeeze. You had one sign of strength. It didn't really close well that day. It kind of almost did a little reversal from about 120 back down to 115. It meandered its way up, and it mostly, as far as I could tell, was short squeeze. But the last couple of days, including today, a definite sign of weakness as you've come back and hit that move on what's going to be at least equal, if not exceeded, volume out there today. Of course, China continues, their numbers came in for industrial production and were much weaker than people thought. So we're going to continue to see stocks like this move. We talked a little bit about Dell and HP. I kind of really starting to think that, HPC actually. Hewlett-Packard might be a decent buy here in the near future. Hang on a second. Well, I'm not exactly sure why I'm having difficulties, but I will figure it out in a minute. Well, is it HPC? Yeah, Hewlett-Packard, right? Oh, HPQ, no wonder. A brain fart out here. Anyway, HPQ for Hewlett-Packard. We're getting back in testing on higher volume. The previous low out here at $17.41, $17.60 so far. The low out here, maybe it's getting a little lower, but we're going to hit and touch that 1741 fairly quickly, and I would imagine on at least twice the volume over the next couple of days. Earnings report, pretty much a disaster out there, but I suspect that a lot of what they have is a problem with build with inventory and also a issue with Windows 8 shipping. A lot of this is probably going to get HP down. They are building quite a short interest. If this thing could probably get down into the maybe 13, 14, 15 range by October when Windows 8 really ships in mass, might be a very interesting company to be looking at as a turnaround, but certainly going to see a weakness all the way through the next quarter on their latest earnings. See what else we have. We got a few companies that were trying to bust higher. The gold companies, again, with gold popping up. I can't say that on the air, someone said in the den. Anyway, I did. Royal Gold, RGLD is the symbol on it. It is up, but again, light volume as we test previous highs in Royal Gold. This would be the test of the high, so we want to see exactly how this closes. We've gone up, had that high September the 21st out here, $83.87 on 950,000 shares. I'm showing probably 700,000 shares now. It'd be very interesting to see whether this thing can stay up over a couple of days. I imagine that the gold move here, absent the movement of the dollar, is a risk trade, probably based on problems in the Mideast right now. We had a little bit of volume over the last couple of days, but just the one day on the 21st where we actually saw a decent increase in move and a gap up, kind of a pseudo sign of strength. The last 2 days are not bearing that out. So if we continue to see light volume, maybe a higher high out here, watch for a close back below $83.87, and no volume above this high. But we'll continue watching. And maybe, what we got, an hour and 15 minutes late, so I'm considering that we'll probably see this thing come on and go over on lighter volume out here for Royal Gold when we look at some of the other stocks like AEM. We're seeing, this one come up to its goal, or its big gap. We've talked about this for a while. It could go just a little higher, but that gap starts at about $48 and is on heavy volume, and 13.7 million share gap down. It is still trying to get back into that movement. Again, seeing probably gold a lot stronger than the underlying stocks that it's had. Red Hat, another one's kind of going off here sideways a little bit. It had a very big sign of strength off earnings back on the 29th of March. It's pretty much gone sideways since then. We've had kind of an indeterminate high volume day in this consolidation, but what I didn't like over the last few days was the test of the last high, which is the June 19th high at $58.64, 2.6 million shares. We got into it with 2.2 million shares and have closed below it. So we continue to see weakness in the general market or broad market. And let me see what else we have. Let me just update some of the other stocks. S&P at 1404.34. I just don't see that sign of weakness yet. I suspect we'll probably have a lot of people getting short, and I think it's probably just a tad early. I'd love to see, again, 1424, maybe 1430 or something, continue with a very light volume. See this VIX one more time around 1350, maybe even $13 to set the hook in some shorts. We are seeing some of these stocks start to come off, but a lot of them have been very flat, which suggests to me that we're seeing at least a level of distribution that's out there. Another one that has caught my eye, and I'd like to get this one if I can, is Select Comfort. All these betting companies have been absolutely brutalized. Oh, I like that word, brutalized. Anyway, absolutely brutalized on falling margins. Select Comfort, SCSS, one of that entire industry. All of them seem to have been clubbed like baby seals. This thing got down to as low as $19 on the last June 26th. It was actually testing a high volume low at about 12 million shares. That it came in and tested at 1.4 million shares. Pretty good that the bottom was in. I suspect that we're probably going to see some kind of sign, same kind of sign that this thing has hit a high, and we saw that just the last few days. The last major high was $29 on May 25th, 2.2 million shares. We gapped up on kind of at least decent volume of 6.3 million shares on the 19th of July. What we have seen, though, is we are testing that last high May 25th with 2.2 million shares, and saw we came in with that with about 680,000 shares. Did go 92 cents above it. We have closed below that $29. So you have a valid sell signal. You also have a fairly decent gap in here that would be fairly easy, I think, to probably get back into that $23 range. That's just some of the stocks I'm looking at now. We'll look at a couple more. You still have plenty of time to give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. So you don't have to look it up. Just dial it. Dial away.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Time is the great equalizer of all mankind. Time doesn't care about winners or losers, who succeeds or fails. Time only cares that you played the game. Question: are you playing the money game? Is your money working as hard for you as you are for it? I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, a daily trading and investment newsletter service, and we're celebrating our 1-year anniversary. In year 1, we generated a 30% profit. Plus, I provided 26 hours of live coaching to my clients. My daily newsletter service is available by 8 a.m. each day and covers the stock, futures, currency, and commodity markets, along with all the current patterns that you can trade. Each newsletter is packed with education, and it's yours for as little as $3 per day. And for the next 30 days, you can try it risk-free. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage of TFNN.com and begin your journey to great wealth today. If you're waiting for a better tomorrow, remember this: today's tomorrow will soon be yesterday, and your clock is ticking. Mastering Probability. Now is your time.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
I saw a comment in the den about 3 drives to top in the energy market, so I thought I'd take a little look at it. Probably what Z was talking about in the den. I'm showing here in the oil, the crude oil total return index, ETN. Of course, you don't like to play ETNs, but you can look at them. An exchange traded note, I imagine we'd see the same thing in some of the other ETFs out here. 3 drives to the top are three distincts. Normally you want to move back to where in that pattern where it started. The logical conclusion, if that is a 3 drives to a top pattern would say that this $23.94 was probably the high today in this pattern, and that you're probably looking about a pullback to the original gap up on volume that around 1950, 1975 as a test back there. You still don't have a test of that high volume low, also that was $18.82 on that ETN. Would make kind of a nice little pattern out there in trade. Again, of course, that's going to be dependent, I think, a lot on what happens in the Mideast over the next couple of weeks with the war drums hitting fairly hard. Let's see what else we have out here. Let's go to a 1 year. Travelers Company, let's see if we can get just a little. Another one that looks like it's kind of tested the top out here. When we look at it, symbol is TRV. May 3rd, $65.27, 3.7 million shares. We got into that with 3.4 million shares, so just a shade light. Probably a good indication. I'm seeing enough of these bigger companies that have tested the highs, but on just moderately lighter volume like this one on 300,000 shares. Normally you're going to get, especially on a couple of these bigger stocks, one more test to the top. That's what makes me think that our little pullback here today is short-lived, and we've got a chance to go back up at 14.25, maybe even get there, maybe 14.18 or something, and really see some kind of sign of weakness that says this market is truly topped. Maybe they could hang it out to the Jackson Hole FOMC announcement a week from tomorrow, I believe. A lot of times these markets, especially at highs, will really test you. I know that there's plenty of signals out there, and I don't begrudge anybody that's already pulled the trigger. I just suspect that maybe we need to be watching for the whites of their eyes. What else do we have out here with the last film? We talked about this one yesterday, and that's the Whole Food Markets, WFM. This one looks like another one that's probably hitting a high. You can imagine that the prices of everything from beef to corn products and wheat, all that stuff's going to get a lot more expensive. I'm wondering if people will continue to pay the much higher price to go to these very high-ended grocery stores. But on that one, we saw a pretty good indication yesterday. This thing was fairly close to a high. The June 26th high was the absolute high at $97.25, 3.5 million shares into those highs. We saw yesterday 1.2 million shares and a fairly decent candle up here saying that we probably made some kind of high. Again, a lot of these are not the end-of-the-world movements, but I think you could make a fairly decent case that if you have a failure here, this thing's coming right back to $90. There's actually two gaps that are open there. One, a very large one off of earnings, popped up on huge volume, and another one on the way down that actually came down on fairly decent volume that actually exceeded that volume up day. I suspect that's the area of congestion that you'll come back into. Anyway, it's another hour of fabulous programming with the Power of Trading Hour, and me, David White, your host at TFNN, the headquarters of technical trading and investing. Hope you all have a great and safe day, and I will see you tomorrow in Tech Insider Hour tomorrow night with Tom O'Brien. See y'all later, alligator.